Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is February the 25th, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see. Yesterday was a nice, fun day. I got to go over a friend's house and we pretty much just played Magic the Gathering all day. And, I got to drink some brews, have a little smoke break. So that was fun, which leads us to the food corner. I actually, my friend, he ordered La Rosa's. So what a champion. Love you, Nate. Thank you, buddy. We got pepperoni and pineapple pizza with boneless barbecue wings, and he let me get some blue cheese. So that was a big flex. Also, let me know if you're anything like me. Especially if you've seen any of my pizzas, you know they get wild. If you've heard some of my pizzas, but I will sometimes dip my pizza in the blue cheese. Which I came to this after the ranch heads were like, oh yeah, I dip my pizza in ranch, which I thought was crazy until I kind of dabbled and I was like, okay, this is fine, it's all right. But then I was like, I like blue cheese more than I like ranch, and I feel like that's more of a thing you can do with food, but that's maybe just because I'm used to like blue cheeseburgers. So I don't know. I got into that. I like that, but that's just me. That's how I get down. But yeah, I had a good day. I've been having a good weekend. Grocery shopping went well. So yeah, I won't bore you with any more of my dribble drabble dilly dallying. Let me go ahead and do my startup, and then we'll get into some news. Do 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 do. Oh yeah, and I also am drinking at 10:30 in the morning. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, um, let's see. The first story comes from Yahoo News. South Carolina primary results. Trump wins, defeating Haley in her home state. So, ouch. Former President Donald Trump won the Republican presidential primary in South Carolina on Saturday, handily defeating the state's former governor and his last remaining GOP challenger, Nikki Haley. Also, I wanted to add, since she's been on SNL, people have been calling her Nikki Slaley, which I think is very funny. Obviously, it's supposed to be cute, like slay. No, she's getting slayed. It's not working. But yeah, I mean, let's see. Trump won by 59.8%, leaving Nikki Haley with 39.5. And then weirdly, there's still random motherfuckers like voting for like Ron DeSantis and Ramaswamy and Christie. Even though their campaigns are suspended, they're out of the running. They're fucking losers. But yeah, Haley has said, I'm not leaving. I'm not quitting. I'm gonna keep on running. At this point, I don't see why, outside of the reasons we've kind of discussed previously. Is like, hey, she's got the money. She might as well just keep floating the campaign, and she'll know when it's good for her, I guess, or maybe she'll just let the whole thing just kind of run its course. Hey, it's her show. By all means, she can do what she wants. Also, I wanted to add too that is an old picture I have in the thumbnail of them. I think in like 2018, but I just couldn't pass it up because he's like, Trump is doing the weird handhold thing, and I just think it's so fucking funny. I couldn't imagine having to work with that man, like in any capacity, like, but especially like when it's like, I'm the UN ambassador, you're the president of the United States. How is this actually working? Because like, I'm a politician, I've done come up, I've done made my fucking moves, and now I'm next to you. I couldn't imagine that. And then now you're technically political rivals, for the time being. So that's fascinating. Also, a little bit of extra. They talked to Trump about his like vice president sure, like who you planning? They've been asking him that a lot, and he's playing real coy. But he has recently said that Ron DeSantis is one of his people on his short list. So that's interesting, I guess. maybe Meatball Ron's gonna be rolling back into the main spotlight if you know. What do I say? If motherfucker Donald Trump is going to be the candidate, like unless he spontaneously combusts, or our government just becomes even worse overnight somehow, that'd be crazy. Not that, hey, I would love to see this man just snatched up in the middle of the night. That wouldn't bother me that much, but that would be not exactly how do you say democratic. So got to be by the book, right? Anyway. Enough rabble about politics. Let's talk about, what am I saying? Enough rabble about politics. Half of the shit is politics. Most of the shit is politics. And everything's politics. We gotta talk about student loans. From Yahoo Finance. Do I qualify for student loan forgiveness? Not a jazzy title, but whatever. I'm not really gonna stay on this too long. Most recently, on February 21st, 2024, the White House announced Biden canceled $1.2 billion in federal student loans for 153,000 student loan borrowers. These borrowers were enrolled in the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE, repayment plan. Borrowed $12,000 or less in federal student loans and have been in repayment for at least 10 years. The Department of Education also announced plans to reach out to borrowers eligible for early relief, but not currently enrolled in the SAVE plan at the end of February. I just felt like this was a relevant update. I'm always trying to let my listeners know that, hey, if you got any student loan debt, that, hey, the initial plan did not work, and that fucking sucks. And maybe this shit doesn't work either. I don't know. I'm not, putting my bumper sticker on anything Biden does. But at the end of the day, if this is something and it does wind up happening and you can finally fucking just wash your hands of this shit, Pontius Pilate, just move the fuck on with your life, or at least get a little bit off of you, then hey, I say take it, right? I say go through the fucking rigmarole and do that shit. You know what I mean? So, the rest of this article is like who's eligible, blah, 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 blah. Then by all means, feel free to read that if this applies to you or you're interested. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. From the New York Times. Powerball posted the wrong numbers. Now he's suing for $340 million. The string of numbers on the lottery ticket that John Cheeks bought matched those posted on a Powerball website. He had beat the unfathomable odds to win $340 million grand prize. I obviously read that wrong. My bad. Not according to Powerball administrators, who said the numbers Cheeks saw on the site were part of a test that had been mistakenly posted rather than the winning numbers for the drawing in January of 2023. Cheeks, however, still wants his prize. He's suing several groups that run the Powerball in Washington, D.C., where he lives, for breach of contract, gross negligence, and the infliction of emotional distress, among other claims, for not giving him the grand prize, according to the documents filed in a civil D.C. court. Cheeks has asked for $340 million in compensation, as well as damages and interest on the winnings. The court is set to begin the hearing the case on Friday. Let's see here. So yeah, I mean, I was kind of just like interested in the story because I've never gambled. I can actually say that. I've never gambled. I've never played the lottery. There was one time I had a supervisor randomly like pass out a bunch of like little lottery ticket things. I thought that was really cute, and I didn't win anything there. But no, it is one of those things where, I'm like any person, though, because I've learned, listening to the news and all that kind of stuff, that internationally there's all kinds of lottery systems at play that people use, and, it's a lot of money. And any kind of situation where you can change your life by just simply saying, hey, I'm going to give you a little bit of money, and you're going to change my life with this money and this ticket, that's amazing, right? Or maybe it's a fucking just literal scam. But hey, this is government funded, so who are we to judge? Who are we to say? So, Cheeks having this opportunity, getting this ticket, he's online and he sees, hey, I won. My shit matches up. You're thinking, hey, this is it. This is my moment. Now I'm going to, change my life with this money. And, he said he kept it pretty cool. He called like a friend and da 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 da. But then when he went to go cash this check, they're like, this isn't valid because what you saw online were actually test numbers. And it's like, what? Test numbers? So let me read a little bit into it. The test numbers, which were missing a red Powerball number, were posted on a local DC lottery site on January 6th, even before the drawing happened, the group said. They were left alongside the real winning numbers until January 9th, when workers realized the mistake. So essentially, there was an error at play when this was posted. They posted the wrong numbers, also with the right numbers, left them up for days, and then go, oh, oops, and then they corrected the error. But essentially, I feel like their big thing is like, well, the Powerball was missing, so that's like a red flag. You should know that this wasn't right, and you should, understand that your ticket isn't valid. And also, I was reading in another thing, like one of the people he took it to, they mark his thing as invalid, and they say, hey, sorry, your ticket's not valid. Actually, I don't even think they say sorry. They say, hey, your ticket's not valid. You should actually just throw that away. And he's like, what? What do you mean? Like, these numbers are right on the website. And they try to explain to him, like, no. Like, this is just a voided ticket. It's not right. He goes, no, I'm not throwing this away. And he goes and he puts it into a deposit box and then, proceeds to do this lawsuit. So, let me read a little bit further. The website, the group said, also contained a disclaimer that the site was not the final authority for the drawing and that tickets would still need to be validated by the DC Lottery and independent auditors. So, I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to leave this almost to the audience. I personally think that Cheeks is entitled to something. I mean, personally, I think he should be entitled to the whole thing. Maybe that's just me rooting for the underdog here. I don't fucking know. But, like, at least some kind of settlement, I think, should be reached here where it's like, hey, like, you guys are now in the legal hot seat here. You should make this right. You know what I mean? Maybe not $340 million right, but, like, something. But, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what, the... I don't want to say legal experts, but I guess it's going to go to some kind of jury, right? I don't know. But let me see if there's anything else I wanted to pull. No, that's it on that one. But yeah, I just found this really interesting. And how would you feel? What would you do, if you were in that situation? I think me personally, if I am going to go through all the hassle, I mean, not that it's a big hassle, you go to the gas station, get the fucking Powerball. If I'm going to do this fucking thing and I'm on this website and I get these numbers, yeah, I'm gonna fight this shit if you're telling me my ticket's not valid. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, that's crazy. I can understand the rationale of what these auditors or whatever are trying to say, like what their legal defense is, but like, no, fuck these red flags. We're not dating, motherfucker. Give me my money. But whatever. We have one more thing to cover, and then I will let you go for the day. So you know what that means. I'm gonna take my last break. Ooh. From Law and Crime. To liquidate $1.5 billion from Alex Jones, Sandy Hook families vote to liquidate assets. In order to collect $1.5 billion in defamation judgments they won against Alex Jones, the families of the victims of the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut have voted to liquidate the far-right conspiracy theorists' assets. The unanimous decision was filed on the docket at the federal bankruptcy court in Texas, where the InfoWars hosts Empire, which also includes the company Free Speech Systems, is being picked over more than a year after he first filed a petition for personal bankruptcy protection. He filed for bankruptcy for Free Speech Systems while he was on trial in July of 2023, Ultimately, he was held liable for his defamation comment or defamatory comments about the 2012 mass shooting in Newton, including repeatedly calling the tragedy a giant hoax. So yeah, I mean, essentially, this is a play by the families to say, look, like we see that you're trying to weasel out of this shit. Also, Jones had initially proposed that his assets be broken apart differently, offering to pay down his debt over a decade. The offer was to pay no less than $5.5 million during that time, with proceeds coming out of his personal income. The sale of his assets and drawn profits off of first speech systems that was rejected. So it seems like, hey, everyone's like privy to kind of what's up, man. Like, no, we know that maybe we're not going to get the exact number here, but we are trying to get as much as we can out of you because that is what we are entitled to now. And I say hell yeah to that shit because at the end of the day, I said this before, I'll say this again, like America really only provides you like kind of one way to get justice, really, and it's through like financial incentives. So it's like, yeah, you can just take away from someone who's wronged you. And in the situation, that's really all you can do to someone like Alex Jones. And he's trying to buffer that as much as he can now in the situation. Of course, pleading poverty while he's making money selling tactical tents and vitamins or whatever the fuck he's selling on his goddamn shit today or whatever. And it's like, no, man, like you have to pay the piper in this situation. Like it's time. Like I think it's really slimy that he's trying to make these kind of moves, but good for these families just trying to say, hey, look, we are going to get what we can out of you. And that's the compromise we're willing to make. Not anything less than that, I guess. And so, yeah, that's where I wanted to leave it, I guess, for the day, the week. What do you consider Sunday? Do you consider Sunday the end of the week or the start of the week? I feel like it's technically by the book, it's the start of the week. But for me, I would consider it the tail end. So I'm always conflicted about that. But you let me know. And ways you can let me know. Well, we'll get to that. First, how do you help out? How do you support the effort? How do you level up? You can become a newsie today with patreon.com/Isaiah News. I shout you out at the top of the month. Plug a project if you'd like. Free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. And then there's the socials. Feel free to follow me there or on any one of those you fancy. I'm probably there too. And hopefully you're subscribed to the YouTube and you can comment there and you can say some cool, nice things there. But yeah, also sharing is caring. That's a great way to help out. But really, you just listening and hanging out with me day after day, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's so cool. I think that's so wild. I think that's the trippiest part of this whole thing. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful for you tuning in. I'm so grateful for you being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.